Good people. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Mobile, where authenticity lives and thrives to create a space of growth, healing, and joy. I am your host, Andrea Lawful Sanders, and each day we will cover the topics that are informative and engaging while learning from each other. This is awesome. Good morning. Good morning. So today is a very special day for me in particular because good morning. My dear friend Margaret Livermore suffers from leiomyosarcoma, which is a cancer that attacks the tissues, the connective tissues, and your joints. And so she had been struggling with this cancer now for a few years. Quite a few people that she has met and known with this cancer has passed away, and she's still here. So some weeks ago, many weeks ago, I said to her, I'd like to interview your oncologist, Dr. Gina D'Amato, because I was in a conversation with Margaret and Dr. D'Amato in the midst of her cancer diagnosis. I think she was in the second reoccurrence of it. And Margaret was so angry about all that was going on with her body. She said, can you come with me into this meeting? So I joined them via Zoom. And what I noticed about Dr. Gina was that she was so empathetic and compassionate, and I was able to get across to them what is it that Margaret was trying to understand. And so I said to her, I'd like to interview your doctor. And then I called her back and I said, I'd like to interview you. And what came out of that? I'm not going to cry this morning because I'm telling you this. I recorded the episode and left it alone. My producer, Sarita Martin, and my audio editor, Eric Nixon, went to tackle it and to pull all of it together. And when Eric wrote, it was a really good story. I really enjoyed listening to this. This morning at 3 o'clock, I got up and I listened to it in real time, because once I record, I don't go back and listen. And my husband was laying right beside me, and he was transfixed as she was talking. He just kept saying, oh, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know this. And so I'm grateful now that I took the opportunity to say to her, let's have this conversation. Margaret was with me in either 2023 or I think it was 2023. She said that she had just done some scans and she wanted to come and visit me. And so I flew her in and we drove up to the mountains. And as we were in the car driving up to the mountains, she got the call, or we were in my house, I forget, but she was with me when she got the call that the cancer had returned. And we went up to the mountains and we just began singing and praying and singing and praying. Came back off the mountains. She went home and went back into treatment again. And so you have to hear this episode because it was just good morning, Viola. It was just it changed my life. It changed my life in a way that the things that I would moan and complain about, I stopped moaning and complaining about. Where I wouldn't find joy, I find more joy. Margaret is more special to me than you can even begin to recognize. And after she went through this last time, one of the other things that happened was I called Susan Slauson over at the Dell. And I explained to her CC Winans, the same time that Margaret came in and we went up to the mountains, CC Winans was going to be here. And I said, I'm going to get 2 tickets. I'm going to buy 2 tickets, but can you please help me have her meet CC Winans? Ooh, don't cry, Andrea. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And she said, I absolutely would. And we weren't holding on to it because we had our good seats and we were able to go over into the tent and have our food. And when Cece came on, Margaret just got up and lifted her hands and just started praising God. We're there at the concert, just, enjoying it. And out of the corner of my eye, I see Susan Slauson coming towards me. And I said, oh, God, she's going to make this happen. And I didn't tell Margaret. I did not tell Margaret because I didn't want her to be disappointed, so I just kept it to myself. I said, I may have a surprise for you, but I didn't tell her what. And Susan took us to the back of the stage and had Margaret meet Cece. And as she was telling her about the leiomyosarcoma and what she had gone through, Cece started praying for her, and I just bawled. And do you know, Margaret came back home and she's been in remission. She's been in remission. This cancer is deadly. It is so rare. Only 2,000 people a year gets diagnosed. I can't remember now, or 1 in 2,000. It's a very rare cancer, and it's hard to detect. And so you'll hear her story, how she shares what was going on with her in 2018. She was with me and my husband at a at a high school reunion event, and she kept saying she felt tired, etc., etc. And so, I felt like I was at the beginning part of when she was diagnosed, and then in the middle part. And so last year, she was flown to Africa. She went to go see her sister. She's now doing all the journeys of all the things she ever wanted to do. And so last year, she was flown to Africa to go visit her sister, Zambia. I can't remember what. And then another friend called and said, "Come on, I'm going to send you." She wanted to go to another country, but of course, she's not been able to work, and so all her family and friends have just been stepping in. And another friend bought her a ticket to go to another country in Africa, and she thoroughly enjoyed herself. She was there from May until God knows what. I think the end of June, early July. And so when she got back home, I said to her, "Margaret, I'm sorry that you're just coming back home, but Denise and I get ready to go on our road trip." And I'm telling her all about the road trip. And then I stopped and I said, "You want to come with us?" Oh my God. She screamed because she's always wanted to go see the Golden State Bridge. There's all, in California, there are all these things that she wanted to see in the country. And I took her to every last one that I could while we were traveling across the country. We went from Philadelphia all the way over to Oregon, drove from Oregon all the way down into California. We saw the big old trees. Oh my God! Where we saw a bear and told Denise she was crazy. When we looked around, there was a bear right behind my car. What are those big redwoods? The redwoods. My mother wanted to see them before she died, so we stopped there, and then we stopped at Yosemite, and then we went through Death Valley in California. Then we came through, and then while we were in the car, I got a call that there were tickets for me to go and participate in the Democratic National Convention. I said to the woman that called me, because you have to get security clearance. I said to the woman that called me and said, "I have 2 people with me. I'm traveling across the country." She got tickets for them too, so they were able to experience the Democratic National Convention live and in Memorex. And then that same person that gave us security clearance to go, let her apartment go in Chicago so we could stay there. I have to tell you that when you, and I've said this in a million ways, in a world where you can be anything, be kind, right? This sister watched all this stuff unfolding for me last July, and she called me. She said, "Let me tell you," I will not repeat what she said, but she said, "We're going to make sure one monkey don't stop no show. You're going to the convention." I paid her no attention because I was like, I hadn't even started A.Lawful Truth yet. We were just in the beginning stages of talking about it. She said, "You're going to have security clearance," and we had floor passes, and we were in there and absolutely enjoying ourselves, and we got to explore parts of Chicago that Margaret wanted to see. And so we were able to do all of that. And so this morning, as I listened to the podcast episode, I'm encouraging you, go on Substack, alawfultruth.substack.com. You can find it on Apple, and you can find it on Spotify. Subscribe to Substack. Subscribe to any one of them. You'll see it. A.Lawful Truth. All of them starts with A.Lawful Truth. Subscribe, and you will be able to see and hear all the things. You can subscribe for free, but if you want to pay, it's $8 a month or $80 a year. I'm encouraging you to do that too. But this episode, I have done Kent July. I have done the police chief who was fired because he had called out police corruption. I had done, Marie Lambert, where her husband just started experiencing all kinds of things in his body, and nobody could figure out what was going on with him. We have done, not I, because I swear to you, I recorded them. Serena Martin and Eric Nixon really, cleaned them up and polished them so that they're good for you to hear. And we've done so many episodes, but this one with Margaret, and I am encouraging all of you to listen deeply, understand that when something is wrong with your body, there were doctors who told her she was crazy, that there was absolutely nothing wrong with her, right? And so you'll hear a part in there where she shared something that I was like, okay, you just gotta listen. So I'm super duper excited. In the final conversation held in honor of Sarcoma Awareness Month, I spoke with Margaret Livermore, a lifelong friend who shares her journey through multiple reoccurrences of cancer. In this heartfelt conversation, Margaret emphasizes the emotional and physical challenges she faced, discussing the importance of having a strong support system, maintaining a positive attitude, and the need for empathy in healthcare. Margaret also highlights the significance of finding specialized care for rare cancers like sarcoma and offers advice for both patients and their families in navigating the difficult journey of cancer treatment. To learn more about the warriors battling cancer and the work to prevent and treat it, visit the American Association for Cancer Research, AACR.org. Fantastic, fantastic episode. Good morning, Debbie Womack. Good morning, Teresa Brown Paris. I see you all there, and I see my folks over here in YouTube. Ooh, child. Let me open up this so I can talk to all of you. Oh, Marguerite says, don't make me cry. Don't make me cry. Okay. Good morning, Beatrice, Tammy, Monica. Good morning, Tiffany. Marguerite says, good morning, Andrea. She also says, Alexandra. Good morning, Alexandra. Uh, Marguerite says, Miss Margaret is a phenomenal person. Her powerful yet unassuming personality fills a room. Margaret and I went to high school together, and I was very quiet in high school. I'm not the person. I always had it inside of me, but the things that the popular people were doing in high school was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to sit and talk about world affairs. Yes, I was 13, 14, and 15 talking about world affairs and what was going on, et cetera, et cetera. And it was Margaret who encouraged me to sing. She thought I had a voice like Whitney Houston, which I did when I was younger. I've since taken out my thyroid, so I can't sing like that anymore. And so we she would ask me to sing, and I'd say I said I was charging her money so I could sing, or charging her a box lunch or whatever. I guess I was greedy at the time. And we became friends and lost touch over the years. And then she reached out to me some years ago, and we have been like bottom and bench ever since. Viola says, my sister passed 7/30/2018. I believe she may have had this cancer. This cancer is really difficult to diagnose, really difficult. And there's so many doctors who have no idea, oncologists who have no idea what to do with this cancer because it's so rare. When you listen to this podcast episode, you'll understand. Margaret shares all of that. I put up a snippet of the interview this morning, and the link to the interview from Spotify, Apple, and Substack are now on my social media pages. I'll put it on Instagram. Oh, it's on Instagram already. I did that this morning. And so it was just pay attention. I believe now in retrospect, there were some children dying of cancer in the bones many years ago. And I kept saying to Denise, why are all these children getting cancer in their bones, right in their kneecaps, right, or right behind their knees, and no one ever kind of knew what that was about. And I wish they could have gone back and said, let's test this, because sarcoma is a cancer nobody, and it impacts your soft tissues and your connective joints, right? And so the sequoia trees. Thank you, Monica. Shamika says, I am blessed to have met Miss Margaret. I can't wait. You gotta listen. I promise you, though, and you won't cry, but you'll get a deeper, because Margaret is a warrior, right? When she thought that she was going to die from this, she just refused to cry. She said, this is a bully. I don't like bullies, and I'm taking this bully on. And she took this thing on. And she has since watched so many people succumb to leiomyosarcoma or any kind of different kinds of sarcoma, because what she did was, God blessed her to stay alive up to this point. Margaret is now mentoring and helping people to navigate through this cancer. And sometimes it whips her behind, because she'll call me crying and she said, Andrea, this person is dying, or Andrea, why do they treat us this way? Or Andrea, what can we do? So she's now helping with research with this cancer, right? An unassuming sister who was just living her life, and this thing took her on. And so it is just, you've got to listen to this. And When your body speaks to you, listen to it. Even when the doctors say there's nothing wrong with you, even then, because she was tired all the time, she was losing blood. She constantly needed to go get blood, and they couldn't figure out where she was losing the blood from. Right? They kept trying and trying and trying, and finally, one oncologist said, I think I know what's going on. But when they did, you just have to go listen. Just go listen, please. And share it, share it, share it. The best way you can help us as we are doing these podcast episodes is to please share them, right? And I believe this may be the answer to a lot of the questions that people have been having. I just talked to one sister on Sunday who said, I had cancer. They removed the cancer. I did need chemotherapy, and all of a sudden I'm bleeding. I'm losing iron again in my blood. This thing sucks on your iron, right? She's losing iron in her blood, and she has to keep getting these plasma blood transfusions, and they can't figure out what's wrong with her. I'm going to send it to her and have her listen to it, and then have her contact her doctor for them to really take a listen to her, instead of saying, because she's really frustrated now, why am I keep losing blood? What is going on here in my body? They can't tell her, right? So pay attention, and when they tell you that there's nothing wrong with you, I would suggest that you challenge them again. Challenge them again. Okay, a great episode, and incredibly moving, and it is one for the record books, because I never thought that I would record Margaret and I talking about her cancer diagnosis. I want to say a great big thank you to Susan Slauson. And this is not public knowledge. We did not make it public knowledge, so please don't call her, talk about, can you do this, and this. Please do not reach out to her. This was a special favor to me for a friend that I absolutely love with all my heart. And Margaret did not talk about this cancer until very recently, maybe in the last year. She came out and talked about it. People were so stunned, because she was just moving along, doing what she needed to do. But I was there. One of my birthdays, when she was re-diagnosed, I flew into where she lived, and I spent my birthday with her. And what we did was we rented a hotel, a really nice hotel, and we laid out on the beach and we talked to one another, because I knew the day before I went home, she was going to start her chemotherapy again. And I saw how that chemotherapy ravaged her. Right? I'm asking you all to have a little bit of compassion when someone say they have cancer. Don't say things like, oh, I wish you well, I'm praying for you. You have to really see what they're going through. Her fingertips got black. It impacted her heart. All the things. And she had brain fog. And I would say, Margaret, so and so and so and so. She said, I didn't say that. I said, yes, it did. And I would have to remind her, right? And so she's navigating through all of this, what it did to her children, to her mother, oh my God, to her friends. You have got to listen to this. And so it's a really good episode, one that I am proud that we actually did this, together. And I'm hoping, I'd love to have some feedback from all of you about what your thoughts are around this. When I was diagnosed with, she was diagnosed in 2018 with this sarcoma. I was diagnosed in 2019 with diabetes. I called her and I said, hey, if you can do this, I'm going to figure this out. And she says, true, Andrea, because all you have to do is change your diet and exercise, right? And so I've neck and neck with her. We've been going back and forth. I have not been on any medication for diabetes, and I've been managing my A1C. It's consistently under 6, right? Excuse me. But Margaret was my muse in terms of, I don't have to take chemotherapy. I don't have to do any medication. As long as I do what I'm supposed to do, that's fine. So when you see me post that I am in the gym, it's not just for you to see me working out. It's really to encourage as many of you as possible, because it feels right now, more than half of Americans, and I did this stat years and years ago, are either pre-diabetic or diabetic. It's the food, right? Over 100 million people are either pre-diabetic or diabetic. It's either the food that we eat, the sedentary lifestyle, or a combination of the two. Or there are some people who are what is the word I'm looking to? I have a predilection for it because it's in their family. So for me, it was my aunts, my mama, my this, my that, my grandmama, that. So I knew at some point that may be a thing that visited me. So I held it off until I was 51 years old. So I lived a regular life, and that's because I was in the gym lifting and da 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 da. As menopause started to hit me, there was a year 2018 to 2019 where I was in a lull and I did not exercise at all, and ate what I wanted to, and my A1C was 8.8. I felt I went to Martha's Vineyard to do a thing for the Black Film Festival, and was swaying, felt like I almost was going to faint. And when I said, let me go to the doctor, I was a full-blown 8.8 was my A1C, and she says, you're full-blown diabetic. I want to put you on this medicine. I was like, hold on there. And I began the journey because I went back into doing what I would always do. And the doctor says, you know, I've seen so many people say that they could do this and they couldn't do it, and they ended up on medication. And I said, well, you know, I'm not everybody else. So I'm asking you to give me the opportunity to save my kidneys, save my liver, save my eyesight, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what we did. That is exactly what we did. So I'm grateful. So I have Margaret to thank for that, because she through her own actions motivated and inspired me not to complain about something that I had control over, right? And so when I talk to all of you and you say things that, but I love that piece of cake, or I really want to eat this, or I really want to do that. Tiffany says, I love, love, love Miss Margaret. She has an aura of peace. You know, and then Laverne says, I spent 11 hours in the ER last night. Why were you in the hospital? She had a diverticulitis flare up. Right. I'm sorry to hear that, Laverne. Whew. Viola said, I listened 3 times and shared with many, even men who have sisters, but men also get sarcomas. They do. They do. And you'll hear Margaret say, the doctors, one oncologist say Black people don't get sarcomas. They never heard of such a thing. So you have to really find an oncologist that specializes in sarcomas, because the empathy is not there for the ones who don't really know. Laverne says, my blood keeps being low, but I'm not losing any. The ER keeps saying it's not urgent. Oh, it's urgent, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. I'm on the doctors at 9 a.m. today. So you're losing iron? Your blood keeps getting low? Okay. She also says, I hate watching my aunt go through the aftermath of chemo, and now she takes this medication that's like a chemo and gets sick. It's so hard to witness. She's in individual and group therapy. Yes, Margaret also talked about therapy and what that meant, what that means, and how it saved her, and the instructions she gave us, her friends. You just go listen to it. She gave us specific instructions. We had to follow that thing to the letter. The other thing that happens when you're in chemotherapy, it changes who you are. She was so angry. I remember calling my sisters going, we're trying to do, and I think I talked to her daughter at one point. I said, what is happening here? And she said, I don't know. She said, but she's so angry. And she was like, we were like, what is, and so she started to explain that what she was going through, all the things that she was experiencing. Having cancer is no joke. Being diagnosed with cancer is no joke. So I'm sharing all of this with you to say, please be mindful about, you know, oh my God, she's so nasty, or he's so nasty, or they don't want my help. It's not about you. It is not about you. It is about them, and you're trying to figure out how to support them in the middle of that, right? Margaret has gone through so many rounds of chemo. At one point, she was in chemo for almost a year. And so what that did to her, where her cancer is, you know, there's a whole lot of scar tissue. And she had to deal with all of that. It's a lot, right? And thank you, Sarita. July Sarcoma Awareness Month. Today, though, is Leiomyosarcoma Day, this specific day. So it was just so interesting, or fortuitous, or ironic that this episode dropped on this day. We could not have planned this any better. You know, so this is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful. Alexandra says, Mother, can I share, please? Everyone, please pay attention to the bottom of your feet. Yes, yes, yes. Check for unfamiliar moles developing on the soles of your feet. What does that mean, Alexandra? What is going on with you? She says, I go to see a dermatologist to make sure it isn't cancer developing in the cells. I have an appointment with a Jefferson dermatologist in a couple of weeks. Okay, excellent, excellent. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, everyone. And so it is, Viola is a 42-year cancer survivor, no chemotherapy, no radiation. She was 35 and had a baby at 37, and that baby will be 40 next month. Margaret believes that it's all in your attitude. She really does. She said if you have a defeatist attitude at the very beginning of being diagnosed with cancer, then you're going to succumb to it. You have to literally fight like hell to survive this, right? She says, and the other thing is, everybody talks about breast cancer and they have all sorts of research. There's very little research happening with sarcoma. Dr. Diamato, which was the episode last week. So I'm going to suggest that you listen to Margaret and listen to Dr. Diamato talk about the research going on in Florida right now around sarcoma. She's really a leading expert in it, and I'm grateful to have had the conversation with her. I have a guest on in 5 minutes. And so if you want to call in to talk to me, 215-400-0146. It's at the top of my feed. You'll see the phone number up there. Just scroll up and you'll find it. 215-400-0146. Good morning, Charmaine. Good morning. Cheryl says, absolutely right, Andrea. Cancer is no joke. My mom, two sisters, and I had cancer. One sister passed from gastrointestinal cancer and died in my arms. It's really no joke. And so Margaret, you'll hear in the interview, has a couple of siblings that were also diagnosed with cancer. And so they all got that gene testing, right? So you go ahead and get it all done. I did the gene testing 3 years ago to make sure, and they told me I had no markers for breast cancer, no markers for this, no markers for that. I just had my, look at me. I just had my mammogram done, and they said, there was no evidence of cancer there. And so constantly, we all at some point, our bodies will break down. So constantly check to make sure. When they tell you you have diabetes, don't keep eating and taking the medication because it wears your kidneys down. My friend Antoine Johnson is sick as hell, still waiting for a kidney transplant. When he was diagnosed last August, I was in the car going across the country when he called and told me I had to stop at a rest stop, and I cried. I told Margaret and Denise to just give me a minute. And his kidney failure came as a direct result of a kidney disease that was in his family that he knew nothing about, right? That is impacting other people in his family right now, but he is the one that needs a kidney transplant. So, let's not make assumptions that kidney disease comes from just diabetes. There are all sorts of things that are going on there. So just pay attention to your body. And I'm sharing all of this too to tell you, when your body is exhausted. I worked yesterday, and and it was just a lot. And I came home this morning, I could barely wake up. I was just exhausted. So I'm trying to find a day or two where I can just sit still and do absolutely nothing. It's just a lot going on out here. Jasenia said, cancer changed my mother, and I am adapting to her new personalities and behaviors. Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Mova. How may I help you?
Hi, good morning, lady. How are you?
Margaret! Hi, Margaret! Oh, now I'm going to cry.
Don't start that rubbish this morning.
I know.
Okay, so...
Hi, sweetie pie. Did you listen to the episode?
I haven't. No, I haven't
What?
yet.
Oh.
No, I don't like doing that, but I am going to listen. When I'm driving this morning, I'm going to listen.
Mr. Listen, and he was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. It's such a good interview, Margaret.
Yeah, my brother, anyway, thank you. I just wanted to call publicly, thank you for, not just for supporting me, but for spreading awareness. It is extremely important. You were talking about diabetes. And I ended up being pre-diabetic, not realizing that my pre-diabetes was caused by the amount of steroids I had to take during this.
Really?
Term. Yes, I had no idea that steroids caused that kind of issue. I only found out through my advocacy. Yeah. Listening to other patients is how I found out that was a trigger, because my dad's side of the family has diabetes, so I just assumed that's what it was.
Yeah.
but I wasn't diabetic or pre-diabetic prior to doing the extreme chemo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
But I'm doing great.
Yeah. Did you
I
send it
am
to your
happy.
family members yet?
I'm sorry?
Did you send the thing to your family members yet?
No, ma'am, I haven't done anything
You are
yet.
such a damn Jamaican. Can you just do? What is wrong with us? We never ever share these things with our families ever.
I know, right?
But this is really good, Margaret. You should. You really
But
should.
now that you've put me on blast, I will.
Oops, I almost knocked down my thing here. So thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for entrusting me because Margaret is a very private person and she doesn't like having her name in lights. And I was just like, Margaret, can you just, because we were going to do Dr. Diamata, remember? And then I
Yeah.
called you and I said, come on, I need you to do it too. So we can. And you just said, okay. I was like, well, Black Jesus, let me interview you before you change your mind.
No, I'm trying to be better.
Yeah.
Especially because I know how important this is.
Yes.
I started a support group last year, and it has been heart wrenching.
Yeah.
Just absolutely heart wrenching watching these young people.
Yeah.
Going through this disease, and it reminds
and why
me
are
so
so
much
many
of what I have
people
to be grateful
yeah
for.
and why are so many young people being diagnosed with the sarcoma?
The thing is, most people, what I found out during this advocacy, as I was saying, is that children have sarcomas more than adults.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
But I was diagnosed at 37 initially.
Yes.
And I find that there are a lot of people who are now in their 20s that are being diagnosed.
Wow.
It's just a little bit weird, but hey.
Yeah. I'm just grateful that you're still here and you're raising awareness. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Whew, it's a lot.
I'm running. I'm just
I love you. Please
to
go share with the
take
people.
care of yourselves.
I
Pay
will.
attention to your body.
I will.
Listen to your body. That's the most important thing you can do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I love you. Love you like cooked food.
Love you too, crazy lady. And if you love me like cooked food, I know how much, because we know how much you love yourself. All right, take care.
Bye, honey. Bye-bye.
Right,
bye-bye. Listen, when I'm hungry, ain't nothing on earth. Don't make me stay hungry for too long. Thank you, Sarita, for responding to the guests here. Cheryl talked about her. Was it Cheryl? Somebody. Yeah, there's so many things going on here. Where are you guys getting the genetic testing? There's blood work that is done. Any hospital, any lab, just let them know. You may have to pay for it, Tiffany. I had to pay for mine. I definitely had to pay for mine. So I'm grateful for that. I have a guest in the lobby. So let me open this up and let them in. Good morning, Maureen. Maureen?
Oh my goodness. Good morning. Yes.
Good morning. Thank you for your patience. We were talking about a podcast episode around sarcoma. Today, July is Sarcoma Awareness Month, and one of my dearest friends was diagnosed with leiomyosarcoma, which impacts your soft tissues, and has been battling it for over 20 years. So she called in as I was talking about it, and I got to have a conversation with her. But let me introduce you. Thank you so much for your patience. Maureen Marciana McFarland. Did I say that properly?
You did that perfectly. Thank you.
Maureen Marciana McFarland is an author, record label CEO, amongst many other things. She's a multifaceted professional with a diverse background in investment development, marketing, and fundraising. How did you go? So you now currently monitor the operations of Cloud Records LLC in Philadelphia. Can you tell us a little bit about Cloud Records LLC and the artists that you're producing?
Yes. Well, actually, I started that label in 2020, and it actually began from a vision that I got from God. I was getting a lot of music lyrics, basically download into my system, and I started to write them out. So I had about 20 different lyrics over the years and did nothing with them. And this was just before the pandemic. And I was convinced that I heard that I should start a record label, not knowing much about music, other than the fact that I love music and a diverse type of music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did my research and I did what every smart person should do, which is I engage an entertainment attorney
Mm-hmm.
and tell him of my desire. And with his guidance, we get up all the documentation, all the paperwork done properly,
Mm-hmm.
set up the company. And because he was in the business for so long, he also has some very good artists that he represents.
Okay.
And after we went over my lyrics, we decided which one would go first. And
Mm-hmm.
then I was introduced to all the necessary people I need to start a label,
Mm-hmm.
engineers, those that arrange or producers who write the actual music.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we got started in 2020. Most importantly, though, I wanted to start a music company that create music that was positive, because I
Mm-hmm.
feel that we have a lot of negative music in our community. And
Right.
because music affects the soul so much, I wanted to change that all genre. So
Mm-hmm.
I not only do spiritual music or gospel
Mm-hmm.
music, but I also
Mm-hmm.
just do positive music that will change one's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we are today.
And so, if someone is interested in becoming an artist through you, how do they go there?
Well,
How do they get that? How
I
do they reach you? Get it done?
actually, well, they could reach out to me through either email. They can go on our website. They'll get the email and the contact information. For me, though, I'm always introduced to artists by someone, because
Okay,
Philadelphia is a great music city,
it is.
right? And the people, yeah, that I work with, which is part of this community, know a lot of people. So if we're creating a song, sometimes we create the song before we even know who's gonna use
Mhm.
to choose to sing the song. Um, I have a team of people that I can say after we listen to it, like, who'd be best. Or somebody says, oh, you need to reach out to this person.
Mm-hmm.
So we really don't do a lot of soliciting because we
Okay.
just have so many contacts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So, as I read your bio, okay, it says here that um, you were the director of Transform Your Mind Interactive Learning Initiative.
Yes.
That was implemented in the Philadelphia prison system. And then
Right.
you co-host the bi-weekly Cloud Records music podcast featuring new talented artists. You have a weekly talk show called Marine's Kitchen
Right.
Talk, which airs Fridays from 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. On Favor Zone Radio,
Mhm.
105.3 FM and 97.3
Yes.
FM in New York. Then you went into the financial and humanitarian services sector. You worked in management roles in both the restaurant and hotel industries. You've done a lot, my sister, is what I'm saying to you. You've been in a lot of spaces
Well,
over the years.
right.
Tell me, because oftentimes when people get into a space, they want to stay there. I'm over here. I'm just going to do this for the
Mhm.
rest of my life, for the next 25 years. What led to you
Right.
moving from
Right.
space to space? And some of it had commonality, some of it didn't, to where you got to now.
Right. Well, so let me break it down for you. I was in the hotel business, I guess, while I was in college, and for many years.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the humanitarian organization, Cloud Lighthouse Covenant International, that is my humanitarian work. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't end.
Okay.
We went into the prison system because, as an author and do so much research, especially in our city,
Mm-hmm.
so many of our men are incarcerated, and
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to make a difference. And it really began with my church. Used to
Mm-hmm.
go with the prison ministry,
Mm-hmm.
and so I went from we using the prison ministry to visit prisoners once a month, to creating a whole platform with a bunch of psychologists.
Mm-hmm.
And we created this program called Transforming Your Mind. And we went into the prison, and we were there for about 6 years. And we taught a class twice,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, three classes on Saturdays at two
Mm-hmm.
different prisons.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So that was
and,
just your humanitarian work.
humanitarian work
This,
is something
yeah, yeah,
that is just my human, and it still is a humanitarian work. It's not
yes,
like a separate job.
right,
So,
got it,
right, I merged
understood.
into financing because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know more about how money works, investment work,
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, and fundraising. As
Mm-hmm.
since I had a nonprofit organization, you figured out how you raise money, right, to continue the work.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, though, Cloud Records came about in 2020 as a vision, and
Mm-hmm.
so now I'm glad I'm here because I get the opportunity to through the lyrics, because it's a type of ministry, right? So I'm spreading positive messages using music,
Understood.
basically.
Understood. Music heals too. Music really is healing, especially
Oh
when you deal with
yeah,
things
it
in your life.
heals the soul. It
Hmm.
it brings people together. It's one of those tools that, unlike many other things, with people from different race, different from
Hmm.
different, instead of come together, music does that. It's a powerful tool, and it
Yeah.
does bring healing. It also can mess with one's soul, because, as you know, there are music that disparage people, that
Hmm.
demonize people, and
Hmm.
that is not good. And so you
Hmm.
have to place that with some positive um, words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your journey as a woman in this record label industry. Um, what has that been like for you? What are some of the challenges that you've experienced?
Yeah, well, this is a male dominated industry, right? And not only am I a woman, I'm also a minority. And it's very challenging. And in the sense, not to create the music, because that is my responsibility, right?
Hmm.
You put up the finances, you can get the best artists. But then to get your music out there where
Hmm.
everyone can hear it on the radio or in a space, that's the challenge. Or,
Hmm.
it's unless you have people that will open doors for you, and I've only been in it now going on to 4 years.
Hmm.
It's almost, it's people are very tight knit in that business, right? And also I understand that so many people have to compromise your value to get to places.
Yeah, see,
I'm not willing to
that's
do
the
that,
part. See, that's the part.
and
That's the
so
part.
yeah, and that make it takes it
Hmm.
even longer,
Hmm.
right? um, it's important though that you build community in this type of business, and mentorship, right?
Wow.
Another thing that I'm challenged with, because everything I learned through my entertainment attorney or my own study and
Hmm.
research. I
Hmm.
reached out to try to get somebody to mentor me who's been in it a long time, who's very successful, and they basically turned me down. Like, I guess they've made it now, so they're not interested. I was very disappointed, because
Yes.
when whatever business you're going to, you want to have a mentor to guide you and says, this doesn't work well, or this work
Hmm.
well. But if you don't, I guess you have to build your own door, except that takes such a longer time.
It does. It does. But it's absolutely worth it. When you do the work, the mentors will find you. I promise you. Right? It's
Yeah,
just
that's
it
what I'm
feels more
hoping.
tedious.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it
Yeah.
feels a little bit more tedious because you would prefer to have someone help you. But I also know from the other side of that that mentoring requires time and energy. And sometimes they're already mentoring other people. They don't turn around and say, I'm already
Hmm.
mentoring someone. They just turn it down and do what they have to do
They
because the
just turn
people
you
who are
down, right?
yeah, because the
Hmm.
people who are mentoring also have a lot going on. They became successful because of the work that they were doing, which means they've also taken on other people. So
Hmm.
one of the things I've learned in my journey as an entrepreneur is never to take anything personally. Right. And if they don't mentor you, that means they were not supposed to mentor you to begin with. So you thank God
Right,
you're a
right,
spiritual
right.
woman, right? You thank God for, whatever it is that you
Yes,
weren't supposed
yes.
to experience in that moment. And you keep moving and doing what you're supposed to
Yeah,
do, and that's how that
right.
works. It's
Yeah.
it's a really really good thing. um what else would you like us to know? How can people reach you if they want to support you, or how
Well,
can they reach you if they'd like to let you listen to their work?
right. Well, I would like for people to go on our YouTube channel where all of our music are, and we have amazing music and amazing performers. So if you can go on the YouTube channel, which is Cloud Records LLC 5955. You'll find the podcast that I've done. Actually, we're going into season 4, which here's August 6th. So we have been doing it now a bit over a year, and we're very excited. We're very successful with that. But also, you'll find all of our music, all of our artists on there. You can also visit our website, which is Cloud Record, except there's no S on the website. It's cloudrecordllc.com.
Okay.
Um, and
How do they
our
find the
music is on
podcast?
all the platform.
How do they find the
The
podcast?
podcast is actually, they can find it on our YouTube channel, which
Okay.
is Cloud Records LLC 5955.
5955. Okay. All
Yes.
right.
And I created it's a music podcast, which I created when I started this business. One, because I recognize is there's some talent people out there who are not well known yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, well, not only will I expose the music that we produce, but also elevate and highlight young artists,
Mm-hmm.
so people all over the world can get an opportunity to hear them and support their work,
Yeah.
because my podcast, I think we have about 175,000 subscribers all over the
Mm-hmm.
world, and
Wow,
that's
that's pretty
growing.
big.
So we're giving exposure to some new artists,
Yeah.
and so I'd love for your audience to go on the website and check out our
Mm-hmm.
music, download it. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, the music is available on all music platforms,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, whatever you have on your phone or where you get your
Mm-hmm.
music, it's there.
So were
And just
we
support our work.
175,000 folks? That's not bad. That's actually pretty dead. We know what it takes to put a podcast episode together. So congratulations to you and your
Yes.
team. Do you have a team working with you?
Thank you. Yes. Oh, of course. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That is pretty
Yeah. I'm
diggity
actually
dang
in my
awesome.
studio where I normally have my
Yeah,
podcast. As you can
yeah.
see, Cloud
I can
Records
see
label
it.
in the
Hmm.
background. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, and we do this every 2 weeks. We've been it now a little bit over a year, so that's not
Okay.
bad. It's a pretty
Not bad
new
at all.
thing.
Not bad at
And we're
all.
going into season 4. Yes.
Season
Yes.
4.
Hmm.
Yes. Congratulations to you,
Yeah.
my sister. Cloud Records LLC
Thank you.
5955 on YouTube. You will see all the podcast episodes, all of what they've been doing there.
All the
Uh,
music, all the artists. Yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's awesome. And then cloudrecordllc.com for the website, correct?
Yes, and here's what I would encourage those that are watching this morning is this. Once you go there, a music that you like, the way you can help us to grow, because in music, if nobody hear your songs, no matter how beautiful it is, well, there's no success there, right? Is call your favorite radio station and
Mm,
request them to play our songs,
okay.
because that's the challenge. Like, how do you get in a market? We do a lot of marketing, but how do you get your music on the radio station where to become
Mhm.
part of their playlist, right? So people
Okay.
can constantly hear the music to the point where they will download it. Because today they're not selling CDs anymore. Everything is
This is
digital,
a
right?
download, right? Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes, everything is digital, but you don't make a lot of money there, right? It's like 99 cents if you download a song,
Mm-hmm.
but people like Spotify get most of that. So the record
Wow.
labels or the artists get very small. So you need to do millions and millions of download to either make
Break
money.
even.
So
Yeah.
how do you get millions and millions of people to hear your music?
Right.
It has to
Yeah.
be in the airways. So
Wow.
wherever you are in the world listening, call your
Mm-hmm.
radio station. And for
Mm-hmm.
example, we have a lot of awesome song like "I Am Strong" by Capathia Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
It's you'd call whatever station says, and I'd like to hear Capathia Jenkins, "I Am
Mm-hmm.
Strong." They will have to play it. And
Mm-hmm.
when enough love it, that's how you saturate the airways, and hopefully, you get a
I'm
hit.
just looking. Oh, I see it. Oh, I see
Yeah.
Carpathia. Oh.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful. Well, all the songs are beautiful, but Capathia is a Broadway actress. She's also
Mm-hmm.
a TV actress, and she travels around the country and the world with a huge orchestra. And she does something called "I've Got Soul," and she's always performing that song. It's just she's an amazing performer, but it's
Mm-hmm.
such an amazing song, and it's one of those crossover songs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but also of course Valerie Gay and Harry Morgan. They sing a song that's called "There Is a Time,"
Mm-hmm.
and Val is actually all these singers that we've had thus far
Mm-hmm.
are their background is in opera style. They sing in different languages because they're
Mm-hmm.
they're, they're all musically trained,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very gifted. Yeah, very very gifted. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're very proud of them. So what
Yeah.
I do at the moment is I just continue to create music and build um our records and our record label and our catalog, and hopefully soon we'll get that hit. And once you get it,
Yeah.
as my accountant always tell me, all you need is
Yeah.
one hit. So
Yes, all you
we're
need.
waiting for the one
All
hit
you need is what it's true. It is absolutely
to
true.
get
And
it
then
going.
you will be
Yes.
discovered. Yes. Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Maureen
yes.
McFarlane. I pray that this interview opens up some doors for you so that people will listen
I
and
hope
you'll
so
get
too.
that one great hit that you're looking for. Cloud Records LLC 5955. Congratulations on all you've done thus far, and I wish you well, okay?
And I want to thank you as well. And I'm so impressed with you. I've been following you, and from Word
Mhm.
and to now the old thing with the Bible. I've been watching you for a long, long time.
I did not know
So
that.
I just want to thank you. Oh,
You're
yes.
welcome.
And I've been looking at all your stuff as well. And I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. I
You are
just
so
love when
welcome.
sister can support each other. And so I'm so grateful. Thank you so very much. And just
You're
keep
so
doing what you're
welcome.
doing.
Thank you, my darling. I appreciate it. I hear the accent. You're Yachty? Are you a
I'm
Yachty?
from Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Now
yes,
I hear
yes,
it.
yeah.
I
I'm
remember
for a
meeting
long
you at the
time, but I am.
yes, yeah. Mike
Yes,
doesn't see you
yes.
see
At the diaspora conference.
yes, that's exactly where we saw each other. Where's the young lady that sang for the soccer
Her name
team?
is Alicia Rice. And a matter of fact, she'll be reaching out to you. She's an excellent artist.
Ooh, that
She's not
child can
Jamaican,
sing.
she's American, but she's so
He is
talented.
American, yes.
She can. I've had her in my podcast. That's how I met her. She has
Hmm.
a beautiful single out and an album coming out. And as you know from her singing the national anthem, she's just naturally
Ooh,
talented.
she can sing. I
So
said,
I know
ooh,
you guys are going to try and connect.
yes,
Yes,
yes. Thank you
yes,
so
yes,
much, Maureen. It was
yes.
such a pleasure talking to you, my sister. Keep
Thank
on
you
keeping
again.
on, okay? Bye,
Thank
my
you.
darling.
Be
Bye
blessed,
bye.
my dear.
You too,
Thanks,
darling.
everyone.
All right, bye bye.
Mhm.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Let me
Uh,
see. As I wait for Maureen to click off, let me. There is a. When Margaret was going through each recurrence with her cancer, there was a song when we were driving up to the mountains, she made me play that song until I couldn't see. It was just on repeat, repeat, repeat. And as Sarita and Eric were talking about the editing of the podcast, Sarita was singing again. And I said, what did I sing? I can't remember what I sing. So I listened this morning. It's this one. There will be mountains that I will have to climb, and there will be battles that I will have to fight. But victory or defeat, it's up to me to decide. But how can I expect to win if I never try? I can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Come on, Tiffany, go get the testing. And nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me. That's the song. That's the song. No, you didn't bring me out here to leave me lonely, even when I can't see clearly. I know that you are with me, so I can just sing, y'all, and just go get the testing done. You heard me say last week, I was putting off for years getting my mammogram done. For years, I was like, I don't feel like it. Do it afraid. Go ahead. Go get it done. And I didn't tell you that story so that you could follow my example, because that was not a great example. But there are things as we get older, and there are things we're facing, things we just don't want to face them and deal with them. And it's very, very difficult. Mary. Yes, Tracy. Yes, yes, yes. And so we would sing that song. We went to Martha's Vineyard and we sang. I was having a hard time dealing with the shenanigans that were going on in Martha's Vineyard for that Black Film Festival. And one morning we got in the car and Nehemiah saged me, and I turned that song on and I sang. And when I got finished, we went through the day and we killed the day. And one of the people that were part of the volunteers, she walked up to me and said, we're just really struggling. I said, come on, I'll have breakfast for you the next morning. And breakfast was catered and I fed them all. And she just burst into tears. And you just realize as you are going through things, it is not for you. The thing that you're going through, because I could have packed my ish and said, come on, team, we're going home. We gave the very best of what we had, and it impacted the people who needed to be impacted. So in the midst of all the things that you're going through, just remember, someone is watching the way you carry yourself. Thank you, Marvetta. Thank you. Just remember that other people are watching you in the midst of what you're going through because they're going through something similar. And your response could make the difference between life and death. So that song, as much as I've loved it, when I found out from Margaret, that's what she wanted. I played that thing and we drove for hours in Pennsylvania, going up to the mountains. It was cold. It was October. The leaves were falling and we just sang and sang and sang until she felt better enough to say, all right, we can listen to something else now. You just never know what people are dealing with, right? Just never know. And so when you're sitting down thinking you're the only one dealing with something, just know there are others that are dealing with it too. In the midst of all that I've been going through over the last year, thank God, let me tell you something. That team that I have, they chose me. They were like, okay, mother, where are you? Are you home? All right, we're coming. And they just came and started putting everything together. When I tell you they are everything to me, when I feel fear and I feel like some things are just falling apart, I call her little Jesus. I ain't going out of right here. I call her little Jesus and she'll find a word and she will just never ever think so highly of yourself that you don't think you can get love and inspiration from others. And I call little Jesus and she will write a thing and she'll say, mother, you're going to be all right. I still wake up some mornings just deathly afraid or feeling like something is falling down, even though I know that I can do what we're doing, that there's a whole team behind me and in front of me. Yesterday, God works in amazing, amazing ways. I go to a PHA, my technical producer setting up all the equipment, and I'm sitting there just as cute as a button in my little purple dress. Up walks 3 white men. I said, oh, here we go. And so as they're walking towards me, I said to the one, I said, I love your seersucker suit. It is so cute. I can tell, matches your eyes. And he said, child, we were coming over to talk to you. He said, you took in a room of 450 people. There's an energy and an aura that you carry that you had all of us going, oh, we better listen to what she has to say. He said, you got that entire room quiet. He said, and then the outfit that you had on, you literally should be at the Oscars. Where did that stuff come from? And I told him, I said, inspired by myself. I got tired of spending stupid money on clothes, $100 t-shirts. I'm not doing that, right? So I go and I get my own fabric. And as an inspiration, I design the stuff that I wear. Renee Bolden puts it all together. Black man walks up. He said, I wanted to get a picture with you so badly because I wanted to show other people. Another one said his wife was like, oh my God, who was her designer? And so we were talking. And as we were having the conversation, one of them said, you do this podcast? You need a sponsorship. He said, I'm going to call you in a couple of days. This is what I do. And they said, I know you're not asking for it. God is showing up and saying, you don't even have to ask for anything, Andrea. And so I said to the CEO of PHS, I said, such and such and such. He said, oh, he's going to call you. He said, I've gotten so much feedback about the way you presented, the way you carried yourself, the way you led that program. Just be your best self, y'all. It is okay. And you've heard me say, I don't always get it right. Some mornings I come on here and I cry like a baby. The entire year after my mother died, the tears were just coming. And so I sing. If my husband is going through something, I sing to him. I sing. I find the spaces to music is therapeutic to the soul. My friend Margaret is awesome. And one day, if she ever gives me us permission, we will really delve into all the things that Margaret has had to deal with. But her faith is so strong. Even when it looks crazy and that's like nothing is going to work, let your faith work for you. And sometimes I have to be reminded of that. I do. And so season 3, episode 5, right? Margaret's story of battling cancer is on Substack, it's on Spotify, and it's on Apple. Don't give up. You've come too far from where you started from. Go look it up and listen to it and share it, please. Share it, share it, share it, share it. It's hard. It is hard. We put on this facade sometimes. She says the first song to come up on YouTube. Oh, Alexandra calls it disruptive gratitude. Oh, Jasenia. Oh, Lord Jesus, y'all gonna make me cry. Y'all gonna make me cry. You gonna make me cry. And when something feels untenable, or I'm super happy, or I'm super sad, I break out into song. You can tell, because for me, that's my expression of God, of a thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right? Not easy. I don't know where all of this stuff is going to head. I don't know where the pivot is coming. All I'm doing is being obedient to God and to the work that I do, and how He just set up my whole team, sent a whole team my way without my even having to ask for it. A whole team. A whole team. I didn't even have to ask. They just showed up and they automatically became my team. Right. And the song that I use for this podcast, for the A.Lawful Truth podcast, I paid somebody to put it together. The song that I use for opening Mornings with Mother, that was my song. I walked away from the radio station and took that song with me because it is my song. Learn to cover and pay for your own things, the best you know how. This stuff about, oh, I gotta make all this money. Every time I get funds in, it goes right back out into this business. Speaking of which, the merchandise is here. Merchandise just kept being delivered. So I have enough merchandise now to get it up. And we're going to do a pop-up in Dawafe on August 3rd. So I'll give you more information around that as we get to it. But thank you all again. You wanted t-shirts, you wanted mugs, you blah, 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 blah. It's done. Right. So I was able to get folks to pull together to make sure I had enough inventory so that I could get them out to you. Season 3, episode 5, Lord, I'm gonna get off of here before I cry anymore, right? Battling cancer with courage, clarity, and community. Season 3, episode 5, Battling Cancer with Courage, Clarity, and Community. When Margaret Livermore instructed loved ones on how to be supportive as she fought for her life, the message was clear. We are at war. This episode, I love you all so much. Thank you. There are mornings I get up and I was like, Jesus, I don't want to do this. Charmin says 10 years cancer free. Yes, Charmin, and I saw you do your triathlon. So proud of you. Beatrice says, thank you, Mother, for another awesome show. You are so welcome. And Shaquilla says, I needed this morning. This episode of Mornings with Mother is officially over. I am Andrea Lawful Sanders. I'll see you when I see you. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye, darlings. Bye.